When I beat up 2 coppers, because I was full of drink, full of drugs, this is a big enough scenario, right? And I was like, no awareness. The week after, I went through a house with a baseball bat.
You don't believe in God, as Carl Jung said.
Carl Jung, yeah.
You know God.
I know God.
You know God.
Yeah. I'm not even going to get into the OnlyFans and all that stuff that goes along with that and leads men to the dregs of themselves. It's just lost and convoluted what it is to be a human being. All that easy sex, easy money, materialism, etc. Come back to the Bibles and the principles. It's actually designed for living.
Men's work in Ireland. Where are we at the moment? Why are we so far behind compared to other countries?
And it talks about in Romans 8:18, pain you are feeling now is nothing compared to the joy you will feel. You know, it's like we're going through pain, but there's joy at the other end.
It talked about going from boy psychology to man psychology. We've got a lot of men, biologically they're men, but psychologically they're still boys.
We need just men to open up, and it's getting there, and it's grassroots, and it's my whole life's devotion for this men on this island.
I think there's a great thing with confidence and self-expression. When you feel confident, when you're keeping them promises to yourself and you trust yourself, you can begin to express yourself.
Archetypes connect to emotion.
Okay.
Lovers attached to sadness. Warriors connected to anger. Magicians connected to fear, and kings connected to...
Now, before we jump into today's episode, this podcast is brought to you by the Bond Brothers. And the question I have for you is, wouldn't you want to be walking around feeling like the man? I feel like that's a complete no-brainer. There's a real psychology behind how we dress. And when we look sharp, we move differently. And that's where the Bond Brothers come in. Irish Groomswear Supplier of the Year with their premium store in Goatstown. They offer luxury wedding suits, tuxedos, and expert personal fittings to make sure that you show up like a man on a mission. Head over to the Bond Brothers Instagram and contact Brendan, and he will make sure that you walk away looking dapper. Bond Brothers, where confidence is tailored. For a few more minutes anyway. Where's the next adventure to now?
The next adventure, I'm driving over to... Where am I going? I'm driving to Holyhead and then Holyhead to Devon, working for an organisation called CIP. Change is Possible, Michael Mays' organisation. This organisation's amazing. They do, the work they deliver is for people that may be coming out of treatment centres, recovery, prison, men and women. It's an amazing organisation, and I work for this organisation for free. I give my time, energy and effort because I believe in the mission they have. Yeah. And I go over there, I've not contracted, but I've said committed to 5 events this year for them. And the work they deliver is epic because there's other organisations that charge maybe whatever amount, €1,000, €1,500. They're delivering the same work there for people that really need it, because if we don't do the work that people that really need it, it disparages more and more and more. The people with affluence get better. Yeah. People with no money, even though they really need the work, get lower and lower. So the work is being delivered for like a fraction of prices, and most of the people come, like 70% come on bursaries, if not for free, and then the other 30% will cover the cost of them people, which is epic.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You give up a lot of your time for different organisations.
I do give. This one I love all of them. I get paid for the other organisation because I have to. It's my living, it's my life, it's my career. Yeah. But for this organisation, I've committed to doing 5 events this year, and that would be 4 days each time. So 20 days of the year is given back in that way.
Okay, incredible. Because a big part of life, and it definitely touches many times over in the Bible, is to be in service of others. And there's real meaning to be found in that when you can give up yourself for someone else, like you're doing as well. Yeah. I would like to start this conversation. Actually, welcome,
yeah.
Mr. David Patrick Farrell to the podcast.
Thank you, Brother James.
I am so excited for this. Like we've been back and forth. I only met you maybe a month, or maybe over just a month ago. But man, I love the work you're doing, and it's needed. It is needed nowadays as well. But men's work in Ireland. Where are we at the moment? Because obviously you're a leading figure with the Men Rising Together.
Yep.
MRT.
MRT.
Yeah. Why are we so far behind compared to other countries?
I know it's. I've pondered this question over and over. It's, you know, how do you know you have a problem if you've never admitted you have a problem? Or, you know, you never even opened up. Yeah. So we just get along to get along, and it's like we would literally have a thorn in our side for their whole lives and never mention it, or in our shoe, a pebble, and just getting along. And just like, that's how it's always been. You know, like I've always felt like this. Yeah. And I don't even know. But then when you actually sit with men, they come into this space and they're like, wow, I never thought about that, or I never that affected me, or my life's been conditioned, or my characteristics have all been shaped by that one event. So it's like, we need just men to open up, and it's getting there, and it's grassroots, and it's my whole life's devotion for this men on this island, because as biased as it may sound, I love this island, and I've reincarnated in this life as an Irish white man for a reason, to come here to be the role I'm playing David Patrick Farrell as a human being, to do this work. I'm obviously here for a reason, you know. I could be in America doing this work, but Irish brothers, I know we need it, and I know why I need it, because I needed it. And if you had talked to me 6 years ago when I was deep in addiction, I had no idea. Like, it was pretty normal to taking drugs every day and drinking every day, etc. Because everyone around me was doing it. And then I got sober and it changed my life. And I was like, this work has literally changed my life and given me a life beyond my wildest dreams. It's my full-time vocation now, you know.
Vocation, it's a powerful word as well. Your life's purpose.
Life's purpose.
God's work.
I pray every morning. I pray to God to be the best version of myself today, so I can be helpful and beneficial where I can, to carry the light, to carry the message, and do His work without any ego, with all humility.
You have such a strong connection with God. It is incredible. And how I know that was just from the brief 30-minute conversation we had post-podcast when you were doing it with Brian, and I was mesmerised. You were telling me about reincarnation and how that works, and as you were telling me, you're not planning on coming back here after this life. And like you said, you don't believe in God. As Carl Jung said the
Carl
same.
Jung, yeah.
You know God.
I know God.
You know God.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's available for everybody. It's like, it's like, it really is.
No, and I know you know God as well.
Yeah.
Because I can see it in you. And I only recently, I just keep getting hit, whether it's things I'm consuming online or people I'm talking to. Just there is, it seems, I don't know if you notice this as well, but there seems to be like a resurgence, or people are going back towards the Bible and the principles that are there, and the parables that are there, and the proverbs that are there. There seems to be like people are seeking it. It's almost like, because the Bible is a very spiritual book as well, but it's like we need that. Like our spiritual essence needs, is it purity? It needs, but it needs the information to help us live better.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're lost in this modern day Western world where it's all consumption, materialism, and no real connection or love. It's like suppression, and it's
The Bible's real morality.
Morality, yes.
Real morality and values and ethics and a design for living. And we've gone so far miscued from this way of living with, I'm not even going to get into the OnlyFans and all that stuff that goes along with that, and leads men to the dregs of themselves. And, you know, I'm not shaming, I'm not just observing. It's like, it's just lost and convoluted what it is to be a human being. All that easy sex, easy money, materialism, etc. Going back to the Bibles and the principles, it's actually designed for living. There's no affluence. It's actually a simple way of being. And it's like, just live it and be it. And it's difficult because we all fall short. It's just the way it is. Life is not
We're all sinners.
Easy. We're all sinners,
Sinners, how did you actually, I wasn't even planning on guiding the conversation this way, but it's fascinating and it's interesting already. How did you come into knowing God? Or how did you let God become present in your life?
When I got sober, I handed over my will and my power to the power, God of my own understanding. So even when I started getting sober, I had such connotations of that to Jesus, the Catholic Church. I was like, all the stuff that's happened, I actually resented it completely. I was like,
as many people would.
Yeah, many people would. It's like, oh, why is, and it's age-old questions like, why is there starvation in the world? Why are places being flooded? Why is all this stuff happening? Why is there evil in the world? Because if you look into the Bible, there's always going to be evil and good and evil. But then I just kept growing in my faith. And then I just started talking to God. Like,
like openly out loud?
Openly. Out loud, I talk all the time, and then wasn't getting any response. But I always had faith. And the book of Job talks about, you know the book of Job?
No, I don't.
So the book of Job is like Satan and Jesus and God have a bet that they can get Job to turn his back on God. But the devil's like, Jesus like, you can do anything but not kill him. So the book of Job, they killed his wife. The devil killed his wife, killed his kids, pillaged his land because he was a farmer, killed all his animals. And Job is still in conscious connection with God, still talking to him, like, why are you forsaking me, God? Why are you doing this? But he never gave up his faith. He was still talking to God, and he was still angry with God. He's like, why is this happening? What have I done? And all of Job's friends were like, you've obviously done something. And Job was still connected. Even though his life was falling apart, he was still talking to God. He didn't turn his back on God. And then in the end, God restored all the stuff he had, his wife, his kids, but he never lost his faith. So it's a good, bad, or indifferent, and it talks about in Romans 8:18, the pain you are feeling now is nothing compared to the joy you will feel. You know? It's like, we're going through pain, but there's joy in the other end.
That's so good, isn't it?
When you have the faith and just like, and lessons and everything.
I think humans are designed to be faithful towards something, aren't we?
Yeah. It's so, life is so easy when you hand it over.
Life is so easy.
Yeah. It's easeful.
And do you mean, what do you mean by that? It is so easy. Like
easeful. Like, I don't worry about anything because I know that God has my back.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't have everyone else's back, but I just have constant communication. I pray, and like whatever happens is what's meant to happen. Maybe if I'm that partner I thought I was going to be with forever, doesn't work out. It's been removed because there's a different scenario that's supposed to come. Maybe the job that I went for, the career, the opportunity didn't work out. Maybe because it wasn't the right opportunity for me. And it's like, okay, I totally understand that. And it's not like, what am I falling short on? And maybe I can fall short on pieces and do the work on it. And maybe I wasn't ready to live in that opportunity or live in that relationship because I wasn't fully embodied and ready for that piece. And God won't give me something I can't handle. So He won't give me the career, won't give me the partner until I've fully embodied what it is to be, quote unquote, a man in my terms.
Yeah. It's incredible. It really is. And because your story is fascinating. I was going to go the conversation that way because I love the word that you've used many times over before, but you've alchemized yourself. Is that how you would say it?
Yeah.
Because God has definitely tested you.
Yeah.
And, you know, where you started out was very, very interesting. I suppose to help maybe the listener that wouldn't know, just a synopsis of your backstory and where you were before, because the man sitting across from me the table today is not maybe the man who maybe started out, because you came from a very rough upbringing, very tough situations. Addiction was in there as well. And you came full circle, completely full circle. What helped you, I suppose, turn the tide? What was it that really helped you, you know, gain that awareness and to help you go on and do the work that you're doing now today?
God.
God is. Okay, so it all goes back to God.
It does go back to God, but it's like, you know, at the time, now I'm understanding and the way I talk about it would be that. But at the time, I'd say a rush, I would call it rock bottom, spiritual awakening, rush of awareness. But that moment of clarity just clicked, you know, and I've done a lot of work on myself, and it's just lots more to go on this journey of life. But I can really compartmentalize that, and I said this on different podcasts, there's nothing unique about my story. The unique part is I got sober. Because if you look at the statistics that men that come from, or boys that come from a single parent family, just mother working, the absolute male role model, they're more than likely, there's a higher percentage of them involved in criminality, involved in addiction, etc., all the pieces that go along with that. So just like, not that as a statistic, but when I look like that, I could have just been a statistic, and a lot of brothers I know have been statistics, and they're still wrapped up in drink, drugs, criminality. And that moment when I was on a session for 5 days a week, I'd been awake for longer, I'd taken more drugs, I'd taken more drink, I'd been in warless situations. But this moment clicked, and I was like, I haven't had a feeling or emotion since I was like 11 years old. I was 28 at this stage, and that thought process never come. Like, awareness was non-existent. The only thing I was thinking about was taking drugs, getting drugs, violence, planning armed robberies, all the things was just like, that's my life. And then this moment of like, oh, you haven't cried since you're 11 years old, you haven't had a feeling. I was like, where did that come from? And I was like, I literally nearly sobered up after being awake for 5 days. I went home, I slept for 24 hours. Next day I went to a meeting, then twice the program sponsor, and then it just like, my life started.
Catapulted.
My life literally began 6 years ago. The 18th of March 2019, my life began. Like, I'm like 28 and I woke up, and that's quote unquote woke, is it the wording, but it's like literally, I became born. It was like not reborn Christian, it was like literally, I had a rush of awareness. And where was I before that? There was no me.
Yeah.
It was like this.
And there was no God before then.
There was nothing.
No.
That was pure nihilism, pure like addiction, hedonism, drink, drugs, violence.
It was all unconscious as well.
All unconscious.
Yeah.
But the question I'll ask, and ask the listeners, and I'll ask you, it's this great question was posed to me. Where was God when you weren't with God? And God was always with me. You know, there's times where 3 different times I nearly got stabbed. I was in school when I was 14. A guy tried to stab me in the face, missed. Then I was 14 outside a nightclub in Swords. Guy tried to stab me, cut my arm a little bit. And then I was at a 21st birthday party in a house, and a guy took out a knife, went to stab me, slipped, stabbed his friend in the back of the leg. I was in 2 car crashes, no damage done to anyone else, no damage done to me. I was in court looking at 4 years in jail, out of my mind in the box, full of on coke. My girlfriend at the time had to break into the house to wake me up to bring me to court, and the judge struck the case out, and like that wasn't supposed to happen. It was a new judge. So I was like, God has always been there for me, guiding me. Like, there's 2 guys I was kind of friendly with and knew. They rang me a week before the court case and said, oh, they were in Mountjoy prison. One was doing 8 years, one was doing 4 years. One was for got caught with like a kilo of coke. The other guy got caught with, I don't know, 100,000 euros worth of coke. And they're like, there's a space in the cell for you. And I was like, this is my life. I'm literally, okay, I'll be in, I'll see you next week. This is my reality. Then I go to court, and I had to do loads of stuff before that court. To do 10 anger management lessons, I had to do a urine test every week for 6 months. 180 hours community service, paid 3,500 to the Garda Ombuds Fund, all these things. So I was working in the background, but the day I went to court, because when I beat up 2 coppers, because I was full of drink, full of drugs, this is a big enough scenario, right? And I was like, no awareness. The week after, I went to a house with a baseball bat. This is a big enough pace. And next of all, I didn't care, because reality wasn't real, because I was just taking loads of drugs. They're like, so this is like, okay, if you do this, after this case, you should be okay. But a week later, I went to your house with a baseball bat and they're like, okay, now you're screwed. Now you're going to jail. You're looking at 4 years. And next time I'm in the box, out of my head and drugs. There's 2 ways into the box. You walk in and give evidence, and then there's a cell behind you that brings you down to the docks downstairs. The judge struck it out. So all them things I talked about, the car crashes, the knife attacks, they go into jail, nearly going to jail for 4 years. God was like, I'm gonna keep giving you chances here, keep giving you chances. I'm gonna redirect your life. You're here for a bigger purpose, and thank God, all them things just didn't happen. I didn't die. I didn't get stabbed. Didn't die in a car crash, and didn't go to jail.
He's got great plans for you.
Great plans.
And you're so mission driven. Like you are. What would you say your mission is, if you were to give it a title or definition?
Yeah, I had to do a presentation for an event a while ago, and as cliche as this sounds, and I really pondered on it. I want to leave the world a better place than I found it.
Okay.
Yeah, and that can look so many different ways.
And is that through the men's work? How you're going to do that?
100%. And unity work. I work for different organisations, men and women, but men's work is my real sole purpose. I'm all about it.
And is that like, what would that look like? Is that like men becoming awakened, or is it mass awakening of masculinity? Because, you know, you're so big in this space, you have so much understanding and knowledge and depth to it. But what does that actually look like in regards to, you know, helping men? Because like we know here in Ireland, a lot of men are struggling. We don't know how to express emotion. You know, it seems to be voice after voice after voice, whether it's porn, beer, gambling, like, oh my God, it goes on and on and on. And we're really lacking of awareness around how we feel, how we think, how we are interacting with others, even the relationship that we have with ourselves. You know, we touched on it in the car park earlier on. A lot of men have no just self-belief, you know, that they can go out and achieve great things. Because it is, in Irish culture, we've got this tall poppy syndrome. You know, anyone that sticks their head up, we chop them back down straight away. What do you mean you're wearing a pair of sunglasses? You know what I mean? Or what do you mean you're posting content online? We don't do that around here. It's very closed off, even though, like I said, we're people have such great joy, we seem to condemn one another. But I'm doing a big spiel here. Anyway, I'll get back to the point of what is it that you're looking to do on your mission to help men, especially here in Ireland?
Yeah, it's return to purpose.
Return to purpose.
Return to purpose.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's return to purpose.
Help men find their purpose.
Help men find their purpose.
Love it.
I know, and men are always like, I don't know what I want to do. That is fantastic. It's the best thing ever. It's like, you have so many options. It's like, you know, my purpose is men's work, and that's just like the way it is.
Yeah.
And thank God I got it.
And that's great that you have it.
It's great to have it, but
it's like a guide.
It's not for it's like, this is what I'm doing. It's not for everybody. I can help you find out whatever it is. You want to be the best father? Great, let's work on that.
Yeah.
You want to be the best partner? Let's work on that.
It's just committing to it to make it a purpose.
But it's interesting because it can be a commitment that you're doing something that's not fulfilling you and committing to it. Then it can be a thorn in your side.
So it's only a purpose if it is fulfilling to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I fully believe. And you have a lot of brothers that, in the organisation that I'm with, a lot of brothers, and this is not what we do, but they leave their partners, you know, they like realise when they find out who they were, where was I the last 20 years in that relationship? And then it breaks down. And we're not about breaking people up, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it can work if it works, but if it doesn't, it doesn't, you know. But people find out, I actually didn't know who I was the last 20 years, and now I'm finding out who I am. This isn't really aligned. And that can tend to happen, or they leave their job. We don't tell them brothers to leave their jobs or leave their wives, but when they figure out who they are, it not tends to happen, but it has happened a good few times.
And how do you help men realign? Is it like understanding their values deep down, or what does that look like?
Values, it's so simple, not so simple. It can be the stuff that I do, the stuff that you do, the training, the simple things. It's morning routine, it's committing. Like, confidence goes when we keep our promises to ourselves.
Oh, I love that. It's so fucking true as well, isn't it?
Like, if you're going to get up at 6 a.m., get up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're going to get up 6 a.m. 5 days a week, do it 6 days a week. Like, if you get up at 6, 8, 7, where's your commitment?
Yeah.
That small little thing.
It's like trusting yourself. When you've got that baseline of trust, I can trust myself. And I think that's where belief is built off as well, because you're boosting your self-esteem. When you know you're showing up for someone, it's like if you are due to meet a friend at 3 o'clock and he doesn't show up and it's 3:30, he's still not there, he hasn't texted you can't really rely on him. Yeah. And it's the same thing with yourself. When you said you're going to do something, back it up and go do it. Yeah. And your confidence grows. And confidence, like anything in life, is a skill. If you keep on doing it, you become more confident. And I think there's a great thing with confidence and self-expression. When you feel confident, when you're keeping them promises to yourself and you trust yourself, you can begin to express yourself, because you're just building a solid foundation here to build upon. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm glad we segued into confidence, because in these spaces and places we see brothers with confidence, but confidence without competence is not confidence at all.
You're a fucking great speaker, man.
I appreciate
You're
that.
a poet, you are. Of course you are.
Yeah, I am a poet.
I know
actually.
you. I know you're a poet.
Confidence without confidence. So there's brothers and sisters out there who would have a facade of all airy fairy feathers in their hair and not judging, just observation. And they talk again, but are they talking it, walking it, and living it and breathing it? Because it's easy to contextualize, read the books, watch the podcast, regurgitate people's philosophical gurus' words of authentic worldly wisdom. But are you embodying it?
Live it.
Because we could quote Nietzsche here, we could quote Dr. Jordan Peterson, but are we embodying that? Are we walking? Are we living it? Are we trusting the Bible?
Well, it's a false reality if you're not embodying it. Like you're what they call them, a charlatan.
Charlatan.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there, and there's
But
just
why
observation.
do you think that is? Like, why look good for the sake of looking good? Why not just look good knowing that you're doing it from, like you said, you're embodying the information that you're absorbing? Well, why do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Lack mentality, scarce mentality, to be seen, to be heard, to be witnessed, to be perceived as something that you're not. It comes back to loads of intricacies of self. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm walking, I'm living and breathing it, and I'm not by no means the uber man. I have my own character flaws, defects, the physical I'm trying to align with, the financial I'm trying to align with, the relationship I'm trying to align with, but I'm willing to look at it and explore and vocalise it and be honest and transparent with it all.
Yeah.
Where no one has it all together.
No.
Like, nobody has it all together.
Yeah.
Andrew Huberman, I'm sure, has difficulties with maybe his partner.
Yeah.
You know, or who else we talk about? Tony Robinson. I'm sure there's peaks and troughs in his life. You know, he doesn't all have it together. It's just no human being, but to be honest.
Everyone's flawed.
We're flawed.
No, nobody's perfect.
And that's
Nobody's
what the human
perfect.
experience is like. And that's what men's work is like. We come, there's 30 men have their own insights. One went through a bankruptcy, one's gone through a divorce, one is a pro athlete, one's a pro MMA fighter, and everyone has medicine.
Yeah. We will get back to the conversation in just a second, but if you're enjoying this episode, please leave a 5-star review, share with a friend, and make sure to hit that follow button for the next episode. And what this will do is just help the podcast grow and grow so I can get bigger and better guests as we go along. All the best.
Everybody, you know, I don't have all the medicine. I'm sure you don't either.
No.
But we've come together. That's what it's about, sharing that.
Medicine. Medicine's an interesting one as well. Because medicine comes in many forms as well. What I'm a big lover of is talk therapy. Talking things. How many people aren't expressing their mind? Jordan Peterson says best, but the reason why we speak to one another is to organise the thoughts that are in our own head. And you know, that self-expression that comes, I'm sure you see a lot of it with the men rising together, just men being able to open up the power that's within that. Why do you think we conceal a lot? Why do you think men kind of suppress even just how they're thinking as well, or even the thoughts that are in our head? Is they don't have trust in someone else, or why is that maybe an issue that we face today?
That's an easy one for me. It's like, you know, there's people, they target weakness. You know, we're hunter-gatherers and we see a man who is emotionally breaking down. We're thinking, right, I don't want him to fight me in war. You know, it's like, I don't think that man would have my back because he's not emotionally regulated. Yeah. Or if you were to talk about relationships, it's like, then you're going to take away my wife. Or I was talking about my finances, you think less then because he's less money or he's not affluent. So it's like competitive. People say it's a weakness, but really it's a strength. Because if I alchemize that I'm not physically aligned in my physical pillar, it's like, okay, now I have permission to talk about it. I'm alchemizing it. I'm thinking it through. I'm just getting support. And I know I can benefit and progress in that. Financially, I'm not doing well in finances. And there's a brother there who is a financial advisor. It's like, I would have never known that if I didn't. And he's like, willing to assist me. But we still have that, and it's actually global, not just in Ireland. But it's like people say it's a weakness if you're talking about your weaknesses, but it's really a strength because it's like I'm willing to expose myself, bare my soul, show my Achilles heel, and we can work on it and can strengthen that.
Yeah, vulnerability goes a long way. Vulnerability. I only said it recently to Brian as well. It's a sign of strength. It really is. Just if you can expose yourself in a way where you know you want to be comfortable and maybe not judged by someone, but it's like just open up. Because like you said, there's someone there that then can advise you, you know, open up, like the example you gave there, maybe about financial things, and there's actually a financial advisor in the room and he advises you, and then you're in a better place because you're now solving a problem you had. But if you keep that suppressed, it's no benefit at all. Any other forms of medicine that you found helpful along your journey as well? I know obviously you touched on psychedelics you've done in South America. What does that look like? Because it is a fascinating world. It's something that I haven't delved deep into myself, but I know you've had a lot of transformational experience, and we touched on initiations earlier on in the car park with a good conversation before we even got going. But the importance of psychedelics. What do they actually do for people, do you believe? Yeah,
and thank you for bringing the segue into that. It's like, for me, plant medicine is for everybody, but not everybody is for plant medicine. Okay. So it could be your brother went through, or sister went through psychosis or addiction, and they're just not ready for it. And I see in Western society, and it's like people are looking for that quick fix. It's like, ayahuasca, wachuma, DMT, bufo, hot base, and like, all these medicines are beautiful plant alloys, but can be abused and be like, oh, I'm 1 week sober. I think ayahuasca going to change my life. Maybe get sober for a year or two, figure who you are first, and then you can start working on plant medicines. I was 2 years sober, meticulous with my program, figured out who I was. Then I got the opportunity to sit with psilocybin, and I sat with psilocybin that week, a week later, and it became more of a crutch and a laugh and a giggle. So I stopped taking them, didn't sit in ceremony. Then I sat in actually a ceremony 7 months later, and then I started to really work with them in a good way.
Okay, and when you say work with them in a good way, what did they actually help you to go on and do?
So you never see what they call blinkers the horses wear?
Yeah.
I was wearing them in sobriety, and the blinkers were fantastic. I paid up my debts. I disassociated from criminals. My life was good. I had a good job. I was making money. I was hiking, doing the thing. My emotions were, I was feeling sadness. I was feeling joy, which I hadn't felt before. And then I sat with Wachuma, and I was like, wow, I was wearing blinkers. This is not the spectrum of emotion. The spectrum of emotion is way bigger than I could ever comprehend. That and it wasn't easy, and it isn't an easy path to walk, because there's parts and pieces that I looked at that I'd never be able to get to with talk therapy. Talk therapy is beautiful. I study counselling and psychotherapy. It's an amazing piece. And then the other medicines you ask for, co-work exposure, plant medicines, journaling, breath work, all different medicines. But for me, the plant medicine is like, goes to a level and a depth that talk therapy can't get to, and psychosomatic work. Because I think when we're trying to figure out our minds with what we created, we're in a maze, and how can an unhealthy mind create a healthy solution? Yeah. So I was like, talk therapy can be great, and if you're in any way intellectual or you have a good conversationalist, when you're with a therapist, you can see where it's going. You can see, and it's like you're thinking 5 steps ahead. It's like, they're going to ask me my father now, or you're going to ask me what happened to that girl. And it's like, you're already figuring out a solution, because our mind is faster than what they're speaking. Yeah. But when you go to medicine, there's no getting away from it. It's in your face. This is why you're thinking like this. This trauma is alive in it, and your characteristics are defined. Your personality is defined by this peak moment in your life, maybe in 6, 7, 8, whatever it may be. And now you see the world in that lens, and medicine reverts you back to that. And then it's like, oh wow, you can shift and lift this, alchemize it, illuminate it, transform it, and you can work from a different place now and see the world in a different lens.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's a long-winded answer.
And is this something that's ongoing and present in your life that you're still using today, or how does that look?
Yeah, plant medicine for me is a really important ally for me. I'll be going back to Peru in March, April. I'm bringing a group of men to the Andes. I'm in contact with a Peruvian guide. I was with him 3 years ago. His name is Daya. He's from the Kiru. They're a tribe that only came down from the mountains 50 years ago. They have this prophecy where if the ice cap melts on their holy mountain, that they come back to civilization. So only the last 50 years, the ice cap melted. Their thought process was, when that's melted, or their initiation or whatever it is, it's their prophecy. It's a prophecy. When that melts, they come down to civilization, they share their medicine, and they share their wisdom. And it's only the last 50 years this tribe has come down to civilization, and I was able to spend some time with them 3 years ago. Now this guy Daya, I'm linked in with. We're going to bring men over, and then we're going to go into that's in whereabouts in Peru, Cusco, up north, and then you go down to Pucallpa in the jungle. We're going to go to the Amazon. So one is with the Wachuma, the cactus, the mescaline, and the jungle then is ayahuasca, and that's with the Shipibo, which is another lineage of another tribe, which are an amazing tribe of people.
And how come in South America particularly it's so prevalent, the psychedelic medicines? Is it just because they can only be made there, or what is it?
Yeah, well, the ayahuasca vine and the chicaruna leaf and the ayahuasca vine come together, and that makes ayahuasca. And they're part of their religion, so this is like their life. They've taken it for thousands of years. They're guided to take it, and then the Native Americans also, they use peyote, which is their ceremonial practice, and then the Kiru and the Quechua, they use the mescaline, which is the Wachuma. So it's like part of their lineage, part of their life. Like, kids are drinking it, it's like...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And so, and they use it for integrating their psyche, or what is the actual purpose for them using it?
Expansion, connected to creator.
Connection to creation. And is that what you felt when you've had your own experience of plant medicine?
100%. And for the first, say, 20 ceremonies of medicine, I had to get through all the things I went through. Drink, drugs, ex-girlfriends, violence, all the stuff I've been through.
This all comes flashing back, or flooding back.
My body's been through so much. I've been like kicked in the face as a car crashes, a lot of damage to my face, or violence through fights. So I had to go, I had to pay the tax, man. Yeah. All that full of drinking, drugs and cocaine, you don't feel it and nothing matters, so it was numbed out. Then you get sober and then quote unquote conscious. that bill has to be paid. You have to feel that.
Yeah.
So your body has to go through the process of releasing all the. We talked about Dr. Bezo van der Kolk,
Yeah.
the body keeps the score. The amount of damage I've done to my face, like hammering cocaine every day. Like I didn't have, when I stopped taking cocaine, I got sober, I couldn't smell for 18 months. I thought my smell was gone forever. Like I thought I'd done irreparable damage to my nose. Next of all, I'm in town in Dublin city centre. Next of all, I could smell perfume. Then I could smell dog shit. And I was like, this is great. I have my sense of smell back. But I had to then go, when I worked in medicine, go through all the experiences where I'd done some serious damage to myself. So it's like, it's a really difficult path to walk. It's called the hero's journey, the Kira talk about. It's like when they call it the hero's breakfast, and the Wachuma is off with the head and into the body. So it's like all rational thought, all logical parts of being a man, being a human goes, and now you have to feel it. What damage have you done to your body? And now you have to go through that, feel it, release it, and heal it.
And how do you actually release it and heal it?
Look so many ways. You can
Yeah.
purge, physically getting sick on this end or the other end, screaming, crying, laughing, shaking, sweating, so many different ways.
And when that's passed out, are you then quote unquote healed?
I think
Or is there more healing to do?
I think it's, for me, it's never ending. It's never ending because I think our lens and perspective gets altered all the time. You know, we'll have a conversation, you might say something, I'm like, if I wasn't to be so well versed in the work I do, I'd be like, that's triggered me. Why did that trigger me? Oh, you said this about whatever it is. I'm like, I'm seeing something in him. If I spot it, I got it. So I can change. My lens can change on you, the world, of certain things that happen. A girl might do something that I don't agree with, that a partner, and then I'll see the lens through. Okay, are all women like that? But I have awareness not to be like that because I've done the work, doing the work, not done the work, doing the work. But your lens can obviously change and alter throughout your experience.
Yeah,
If you don't reflect back.
Yeah, it's interesting because you've done a lot of work, and now obviously you're a coach yourself.
Yeah.
And you're helping other men in different areas of your life, or different areas of their life, should I say. There was an interesting point you made, as we're talking before the podcast once again, of the different, what did you call them? Fire
Fires, yeah.
energy. Could you explain this? Because this is actually quite an interesting thing that I think people, men especially, need to understand. Like, you want to keep all the fires going at the one time,
Yeah.
and not maybe let them burn too much.
Yeah, it's easier to tend to a fire than it is to start a fire. And I look at the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relational, financial as fires. Now, my physical pillar might need more attention. My spiritual, mental, emotional are on fire. It's bonfires, and that's through the grace of God.
Yeah.
My physicals took a hit because I've been on 16 flights this year, 52 flights last year, and I'm many countries and I'm many organisations and many, actually, I don't know, to be honest with you, 30 events last year. Was insane, and that's like 4 or 5 day events, which is great, and I love it. But there's no consistency of training. How am I supposed to train? How am I supposed to be in the gym? How am I supposed to have a routine when I'm flying from, like, last 3 weeks ago, I was in India, I landed in Ireland for 20 hours, then I flew to California, I was there for 10 days, then I landed back in Ireland for 3 days, then I went to Wales, was there for 4 days, landed back in Ireland for 2 days, then I went to the UK. So it's like, it's full on,
Yeah.
and I love it. But now the physical pillar needs tending because I'm in this for a lifetime. And to be in this for a lifetime, the physical vessel I've been gifted by God, I have to give the time and energy and effort to my physical pillar and the fire. Financial, I'm building on, emotional, regulated, emotional literacy, emotional capacity through the practice that we'll discuss. Mental, clarity, focus, drive, purpose, vision, studying on a regular basis. So they're all on point. And the spiritual connection, of course, I'm connected to God.
You've got it, yeah.
So it's like, they're all fires, and brothers don't realise. And what can happen is, we throw it all in one fire. I'm like, I need to work on everything right now. And then it's like when you're in freeze state or flight state or fight state, you press the gas and you press the brake at the same time, and you're going 100 miles an hour and you're going nowhere.
Yeah.
So your nervous system's not a difference. You want to be financially viable, you want to be all the pieces all at once. You're like, I want to do everything, and then nothing happens. And you're like stuck in a freeze state. It's like, why am I progressing in life?
Yeah. And how do you help men maybe start that journey when they come to you initially? You know, what is the first thing that you look at?
Jordan B. Peterson talks about making your bed. You know,
Yeah.
and it's that simple. It's like setting a time to get up at and do it. And before you go into the world, 3 conscious breaths. Before you get out of bed,
Breathe, yeah, just get it in.
breathe.
Regulate yourself.
Regulate. It's like before
Yeah.
you go and attack the world, have 10 cups of coffee, and then there's like your nerves system's like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's
Fried.
like fried. So it's really simple, and then it's like scaling that, and it's like compounding them small wins over time, and then we go deep. So the work I do now is 6 months. Last year I was doing container 6 weeks, and it's a kickstart.
Yeah.
But real transformation now, I realise
At least
6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Minimum 6 months, and I'm with you, and I'm guiding you, and it's literally small compounds, and then we go deep. When you have a solid routine, then we'll start looking at the quote unquote the work, the mother wound, the father wound, the brother wound, the sister wound, emotional regulation, emotional capacity, nervous system regulation, goals, vision, purpose. Like, how can you talk to a brother about goals, vision, purpose when he's getting up at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, watching Netflix? He can't even think. His purpose is to put on Netflix, binge out, and there's no purpose.
Routine is so key in life.
Yeah.
And if you look at anyone of great success, they always have a set routine. It's almost like it's automated. They've thought ahead of what they're going to do, and they do the same thing over and over again. And by doing it over and over again, they get great results. So they stick to it. But like you said, you just, that is such a simple practice. But like, you're going nowhere now if you don't have a set routine. Getting up at the same time, go to bed at the same time. Because like, we're just so off in ourselves when we're out of routine. Like, you miss a night's sleep, miss 2 nights sleep. You're just not the same guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're slacking off as well with that too. You touched on emotions there. You said emotion capacity, emotional regulation, and emotional literacy. Let's dive a bit deeper there.
Yeah.
Emotional literacy. Is that people not understanding their own emotions, or what's that look like?
Not even having the vocabulary.
Okay.
Like, not even having the vocabulary.
Yeah, because how can you know what something isn't if you can't express it?
And
If you
then
can't define it.
Can't define it.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I'm depressed. Right. Are you depressed, or did you not get enough sleep? Is your diet out of whack? When was the last time you ran? When was the last time you checked in with yourself? And it just goes straight into the depression. And I'm not disregarding depression because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
But it's like they go straight to, I'm depressed or I'm sad. Maybe you're just a bit discontented. Maybe you're out of regulation. Maybe you really haven't explored what it's like to be still. So it's like them small pieces where it's like, no, I'm depressed. And then the way the world works and the way the doctor works, SSRIs, antidepressants, I'm not feeling myself. When you go into a doctor and you say, I'm not feeling myself, okay, here's a prescription. They don't ask you, when do you get enough sunlight?
Yeah.
Do you drink enough water?
Do your feet
Are
in the
you
ground?
training? Do your feet in the ground? What's your job like? None of that. It's like, okay, here's your prescription for 6 months. You can refill it then. And it's like, bypass. And that's an easy fix, but it's actually detrimental.
Yeah. Because then you're relying on something else.
Emotional literacy is really important. And capacity is like expanding that. And then emotional regulation is understanding how to regulate.
How to regulate your emotions. That's a powerful place to be. Because like, I feel like you can't really become a man unless you regulate your emotions. That's kind of, Stoicism has taught me a lot about that. But also, meditation has been a great teacher for me in that sense. Just like that self-regulation. Just knowing that you can tap into this from the stillness of body and mind, that there's just peace within. There's just peace within. It's maybe not something that's external to yourself, but internally you have it there already. And just knowing that it's a beautiful thing. Are you big into, obviously on the topic of breath work, are you big into breath work, and do you practice them often or much?
I did at the beginning of my journey. I really enjoyed the breath, and it's a modality I use few and far between. It's something I would draw on pretty regularly on a daily basis if I need to stop.
Yeah.
So it's ingrained in me. It's like, if I need to stop, I'm just like, okay.
Because you have that awareness.
Yeah, it's like, now this is too much, this is conversation be too much. I'm like, I bring a mantra, a prayer in silence, and also just constantly breathing. Because it's awareness to go, okay, I'm not feeling this coffee's that really blowing me apart too late in the day. It's like, breathe, you know, but people forget to breathe.
Yeah, we're so caught up. We're so caught up and we're so disconnected from our bodies. So disconnected from our bodies. Tell me, so we touched on the emotional side being the mental, the physical being, actually, do you know an interesting thing I'd love to speak to you about is the psyche, the masculine psyche. I haven't had anyone on the podcast just yet to discuss this, and you're a man that's well versed in this as well. And I think it's very important to understand how we operate as men. For anyone that doesn't know, the masculine psyche is made up of 4 parts. Is that correct? Yeah. The warrior, the magician, the lover, and the king. The warrior is kind of the doer, the goer, the getting shit done. The magician is the visionary, and the lover is obviously the lover, and then the king is the one that kind of overlords all of them, and has them all laid out, like observing a chessboard from above. But is this something you help your clients with as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that look?
Yeah, sort of. Each archetype is connected to emotion.
Okay.
Lover is attached to sadness. Warrior is connected to anger. Magician connected to fear, and king is connected to joy. Now, there's shadow king, shadow warrior, shadow magician, and shadow lover. And that can look like, if you're a king, and joy can become hedonism, and it's all just pleasure, it's all this, and it becomes a tyrant king, and it's all just hedonistic nihilism, nothing matters, I'm the king, it's pure joy. But a real king, if you're embodied and you're aligned, you have your kingdom in order, it's actually service. It's like to benefit the collective. So being a king is not like sitting on the throne. It's actually, how can I benefit people that are around me? What can my decisions do? How can I show up to be of support for everybody? It's not just sitting there with a load of gold and let's go into the reality of it. Having a Maserati, having a Bugatti, all in pieces, having an affluent house, having whatever, designer clothes. Yeah. That can look like a quote-unquote king. It was a tyrant king. But where is my money? Where's my energy? Where's my direction going to actually support people around me? That's a true embodied king. And then that's the other, I talk the shadow, and going to bring them into the lover, and I'll bring it that way. The lover is beautiful. It's usually the lover is correlated with the 0 to 7 of your beginnings, which is in sadness. So your lack of love from mother, father, social conditioning, etc., all them pieces attached to your lover. But if you're embodied in your lover creates is like inception of the idea, and then it brings into the magician is like the intellectual capacity of how it's going to look. The warrior is a driving force, and then the king then seeks counsel with the other three. But we can have your magician is powerful, but it can also be so it's based on fear, the emotion, primary emotion. So it would be like, don't walk down that alley; it's dangerous. But if you don't understand these archetypes, the magician can also stop your progression and be like, do you really think you should start a men's organisation? Is it really risky? How much work needs to go into this? Would you not just get a 9 to 5 and be comfortable? So the magician is like wants the best for you, not to reach conflict or reach struggles. So it might put barriers in your way. So that's the shadow magician, and be like, it's easier to just go to get the paycheck and settle into it and get like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And it can really stop you. But if you are talking to your magician and you line your magician up, so what we do is we align our kingdom.
Yeah.
If I'm a sovereign king, I want my magician in my right ear, and I'll seek my magician for counsel and be like, I understand that there's fears around financial viability in the work I'm doing. I understand that traveling the world it can be forever. And I understand that I have to do this mission. And I understand your counsel, but I'm on a mission and I get it. And when I need your counsel, I'll come to you. And I'll talk to the magician that way. I literally talk to the magician and go, I understand that. My warrior is like, where do I want my warrior to be? Do I want them in front of me, leading the pack? Sometimes my warrior is okay to be a peaceful warrior behind me and just support me and being a support in the back going, you don't need to keep pushing, you don't need to keep driving. You're good where you are at the moment. This is peacetime.
Yeah.
But the warrior is still there and a driving force in life. Or a warrior can be in front. It's like, no, you need to get through this. This is what you need to do. It needs to be in the front, protecting your kingdom. It needs to be creating boundaries with strong boundaries, loving presence, loving boundaries, strong presence. The warrior is like, you need to know what you do here. I'm here. I've got you. And I was like, warrior, I need you where you are. And you stay there. I need you to protect the boundaries. I need you to be in front. And someone's like, no, I need you to stay behind me, support me when I need you, and I'll call on you when I need you as an embodied king. And the lover is like the sadness, is like the illumination. Okay, so I'm a single man. I practice conscious service the last 4 years. I know I'm on a mission. The magician's telling me what I'm doing. The king's embodied. The warrior is here. I'm leading the force across the world. And the lover's like, would it not just be nice to have a partner now and settle down and do the thing? And it's like, okay, where am I lacking that love in my life? And that can be any man. It's just talking about my example. It's like, okay, the feminine energy. So what can I use to embody the feminine energy? Is it poetry? Is it a cup of cacao? Is it hanging around with sisters that I love? Not in a romantic way. And I can get that feminine energy from there. So lover is like an illuminating of like where love might be falling short and how I can use it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get you, yeah.
Yeah.
And can they ever all be aligned? Can they ever all be aligned at any one stage?
That's down to your kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's kingdom is different. Sometimes you want your magician. Most people's magicians are standing in front of them. They're stopping progressing for fear of safety, for comfort. And comfort's the enemy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you ran a 5K today in your PB.
Yeah.
But your body's probably like, do I really need to do a 5K tomorrow now? It's like, that's your magician. Be like, you've done it. You got your thing. You got your accolade. That's the psyche. It's like, you could just stop there. And not most people do, but it's like that magician was like telling you, no, you've done it. You're good.
Yeah.
And it can be a dopamine hit. But the magician's like, I hear your voice, but I could probably get 17 minutes if I kept going. And I appreciate your voice. I know you're looking for my best interest, but I know my warrior wants to be online and push forward. And my king's going to guide and I'll seek your counsel. But the lover be like, do you need to get this prestige, valor from just getting the time? And the lover's out. It's like a shadow part. It's like, do I need to be, quote unquote, number one men's work facilitator? For the grace of God, I get to do what I do. Not that I'm the best. I'm striving to continue to grow. But it's like, it's a lover then a piece of me. Do I travel the world for abandoning myself to be there for others, do myself a disservice? Is this another addiction? I appreciate what you're saying, but no, I know what I'm doing. It's devotion. And this love that I have for this work is the love I have to drive my driving force and use it in a good way. So it's really knowing what's out of balance, to look at it, to be honest with each individual archetype and go, okay, I've got this. And the king's like, I understand your concerns, but I know what I'm doing. Yeah, making sense?
That's, incredible. It's incredible. How did you initially come across the masculine archetypes?
Yeah, I read the book. But before I read the book, I was living it. Not me living it, but I was in containers of men delivering this work.
Okay.
And I've seen it happen in real time. And a brother of mine, Michael Maisie, he is 20 years in this work. He's worked with MKP, and I've seen this brother literally splitting men's psyches open and showing brothers where the warriors have alignment in their life, where the magician was stopping progressing, where the king is like a tyrant and where the lover is out of balance. And I've seen him do that. And the 4 archetypes can be correlated with women too. So you have your wise woman, your warrioress, your queen, and your lover can also be in that part too. But for the men, it's that piece. And I've seen it happen in real time. And I'm like, what is happening here? This like if you ever gone through a process, when we're going to be friends, I know that you'll come to the work, you'll see what I'm doing. It's just inevitable, and you'll see this happening, and it's like, wow, like you're seeing brothers' mind split open. They're seeing their life, and they're like, wow, I didn't realize that my warrior has been like distorted and not supporting me, and my magician has been throwing me off cue, and I haven't been progressing in my life because my magician is telling me all the wrong things. This is conversations. Like your magician is talking to you now, your warrior's talking to you now, your lover's talking to you now, and your king is talking to you now. But what way are you listening to it? And are you in control? Are they in control? Are they a tyrant? Are they a shadow? Are they embodied? Are they acknowledged? Are you giving them the attention they need to actually become aligned with your purpose is, what your mission is, what your devotion is?
And it's the best thing to integrate them all together.
Yeah.
And I suppose just have the awareness of them, that them being there as well. Yeah, it is.
It's fascinating.
It really is, and it's a lot to take on board, I suppose, for the first time if you've ever heard it before, but just even understanding of it. And I love the beginning of that book. We touched on it. We could have had a podcast before the podcast, but we touched on initiation, and you've mentioned that word many times before. But at the beginning of that book, it talked about going from boy psychology to man psychology. And we were discussing, like, especially here in Ireland, it's very evidently clear. You've got a lot of men, whether they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, biologically they're men, but psychologically they're still boys. And for whatever reason, in the Western society anyway, we don't have any initiation phase to go from boy to man. But you touched on South America and these tribes that are over there, or in Africa as well. They'll get the younger boys and they'll initiate them to go on and become men. And that's such an important, part of just having a healthy society, is having men. I feel like we're so lost nowadays. The average man is so lost, doesn't know where to look. Maybe he's never had that role model growing up. Maybe he never had the initiation. Maybe he never played sports, so he never got to become a man through ritualistic practices, whether that's becoming disciplined and feeling the pain of discipline and growing from there. And then obviously it quotes in that book as well with the initiation phases. The one in particular, they tied a young boy down, I think he's 13 or 14. He has all these anteaters put over in his skin for 24, 48 hours. They eat him up. He goes through this pain. He's alchemized. He becomes disciplined. And then they give him this psychedelic, which heightens his awareness. And he has the psyche then of a man. He's integrated back into the tribe. And he's able to go on and have, form relationships with the women there and have sex with them. But the importance of it is he got initiated. We don't have that here in Ireland. I never hear of anyone. I never even heard of the word initiation from boy psychology to man psychology before that book. I was like, this is fucking an awakening for me as well. And I was lucky enough when I was younger. When I was 16, I felt like my initiation was, I had this army coach, ran the whole team into the ground, and he made us a real team, and he kind of developed our character. That's what it was. It was hard. It was painful. We're being disciplined, but we grew. And I'm so grateful for that experience, and I'm so blessed to have it, because if I didn't have it, I may still be in the case at 28 years old and still have that kind of boy psychology. But I think that causes a lot of friction in a man's mind when he knows maybe he has that boy psychology, but he hasn't turned himself into being an actual man. And people can feel it off you as well. People sense it. When someone isn't just turning up and acting like a man. How do you help people do that? Because I'm guessing through obviously your work here in Ireland as well. Do you see that? Is that a common occurrence that you see a lot of men that are biologically men but psychologically still boys?
100%. Yeah. It's massive. And I'll go from the eye. My initiations where I was around a group of lads, I'd say, have you ever done coke? And I've done coke. I'm 13 or whatever, and that'd be I'm initiating myself. I've done coke. Have you ever done speed? I've done speed. Have you ever done ecstasy? Yeah. So I was initiating myself in all the wrong ways, because I thought it was to be cool, to be wanted, to be accepted. All the pieces by elders, quote unquote elders of the society, but they're just drug dealers and gangsters and criminals. And initiation was fighting, all in pieces. But boys, men that are boys now, it's like the pieces they've never gone through anything. Like the initiation is how many points you can have, or whatever it may be. I'm nothing wrong with alcohol. There's nothing wrong with, for me it is, because I'm an alcoholic, but I don't drink. But for the initiations, there's such a separation of what it is to be a boy and a man, and you can go to your grave still being a boy psychology, and that looks like being with your partner and she's doing all the washing, or the dishes. The dishes is a man's job. Because I love washing dishes, as mad as it sounds, because there's purpose in it. And it's like there's 3 different ways of washing dishes. You can wash them, get them done. You can wash them with intention. You can wash them with intention, put them away.
Yeah.
And it's like really like, and we knew it was that, but it's like there's purpose in this. Because I know now my housemate is going to have a clean dish, and I go there, there's going to be clean dishes, and at the night time the kitchen's going to be clean.
Yeah.
Purpose driven, all little
Responsibility.
things. Responsibility.
Massive.
And for men, it's like they're missing all them initiations and seeing the initiation and everything. But the Native Americans, they do the sun dance. The Lakota, the Sioux Nations, they all do the sun dance where they hooked up their chest. They dance for 4 days in the heat, no water, no food. Then you have the Kiru, you have the Shabiba, the drinking ayahuasca, the Wachuma. And Ireland, I'm sure we had initiations here. You know, would it be hurling, would it be in warfare, would it be we lost it. So these indigenous tribes I get to tap into, and some of them come over and do some of the work here, which is epic. I have a Native American man living with me now called Inagoose for 6 weeks. He's going to be doing the sweat houses in Ireland. It's like, we used to call them sweat houses in Ireland. We used to do them with stone. It would be more for illness, but so you sweat and you pray, you sweat and you pray. Beautiful initiation around a group of men. But it's really important to be initiated. Like, and I'm still becoming initiated in different things. Still showing up. Initiation, jiu-jitsu, daily basis, very, very humbling. Initiation, and then you get a stripe. And I'm 35 now, getting a stripe in your belt is like, okay, they don't just give stripes out. You show up, you're dedicated, you're disciplined, you earn it. You know, and it's hard work, and you're getting humbled all the time. One path, another path is medicine, initiation to that. Continue showing up in that, and you're running, you're initiating yourself. But to be around a tribe of men being initiated, and men's work, for me, men's work is being processed. Because process work, the psychosomatic work, is going to the depths of yourself with vulnerability in front of a group of peers, mentors, men around you. And we're there, we're supporting you, we're guiding you, and you're being initiated into what it feels like to have a primal recalibration, an emotional recalibration.
A primal recalibration.
Yeah, and that could look like a cathartic release. But in saying that, I'm not looking for a quiver. This work is not about just for show or video, because it can look like that. But this is actually about connecting to self, having that primal recall, having that emotional recalibration, being witnessed, being heard, being seen in a strength and vulnerability by 30, 40, 100 men, how big the event is, and be willing to go to the depths of yourself and bare your soul in front of all the other men around you, and know you're not going to be judged, you're not going to be ridiculed, criticised, you're being held, supported. That's an initiation.
So that's what the initiation looks like.
For me, I believe the process work in this work is real initiation, because it takes a lot to go there.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to be exposed in the middle of a field in whatever country, and to be seen, heard, witnessed, and talk your most innermost secrets you've never shared.
Yeah.
Like,
because
powerful.
You were telling me before we got going, you've was it over in America? You recently got pushed forward, or you done very well. What was it? What was it called?
Promotion.
You're promoted, and they questioned you there. How did that feel when that was happening? Or could you explain what that was actually?
Yeah. So I was working for Sacred Sons. I'm still working for Sacred Sons, and they're the leading men's organisation in the world. And there's this process they call a peer seat review and a heart seat review. So for the last 3 months, we were connected on WhatsApp. We had multiple WhatsApp containers, but there was 13 men brought up for quote-unquote promotion to LT3. So you start as LT1 at like apprenticeship, like when you start with the organisation. You have 10-week online training, you show up at events, you build the fires, you set up the rooms, you do the thing, all support roles, logistics and stuff. Then you go to LT2, you get more responsibility. You might do the check-ins with the brothers, you might do the waiver forms, you might do a check-in, a group of circle, how's everyone feeling when we're checking, etc. So you build, you're getting reps, and then you get more reps. But if the only men's work you're doing is with one container or one organisation, it's not enough. So I'm doing reps for everywhere, and that's the way it has been. Then you get an opportunity as a candidacy for LT3. 3 months online container. They're asking you, they're looking at your online, what you're doing, how you're showing up in the world, what work you're actually doing outside of it. They're all kind of deliberating, but then you sit in a peer seat. So I went to San Diego, California, and I'm sitting there in front of 12 men, 13 being made up for promotion, 2 founders, and you have 5 minutes to introduce yourself. And it's like, my name's David Patrick Farrell, I do this. And then for 60 minutes, they probe you. They like questions, real intimate, piercing questions about your physical, your mental, emotional, spiritual, relational, financial.
Could you relay anyone in particular that you felt was piercing?
Piercing was the financial and physical, because the work I'm doing, it's growing, but it's not financially viable. So that's why I only work for 7 organisations because the work in Ireland is not viable yet. When this becomes viable and when I'm in Ireland, it's going to be based in Ireland.
Do you believe it's about to take off here in Ireland?
It will take off.
It will take off.
It's grassroots. It's getting there. Stuff like this, podcast exposure, is what's really needed. And then I said this to Brian. I think I said to you in the car park. I didn't get into this work genuinely. Didn't get into this work for money. I didn't get into this to be affluent. I got into this to help men.
Yeah.
And now I have to find a new skill how to do all the content and the business side of things, which I'm not versed in. It's like a new course.
Yeah.
I'm versed in men's work, and I'm versed in how to help and process and guide and be a way show and a mentor. And now I have to do this piece of work that complete blind spot, but it has to be done because to have impact, it needs to be seen, heard, witnessed online.
Yeah.
So that's the process. They were like, well, how are you going to do that? And I said, I'm going to hire a business mentor. Right, that's in the process of happening. Physical, what are you doing? I'm starting to do more consistently. And I was like, my excuse was, I'm not showing up physically because I'm on trains and planes. I was like, but they were like, you can train in the airport. And now the stipulation to my promotion, there's another piece to this, is like every time I'm in an airport, it's like just put a video of me doing press ups.
I've seen that recently,
burpees, all the things in the airport because it can be done. And then the next piece, so there 12 men, they probe me for 60 minutes. They'd ask me to leave the room, they deliberate, they come back in. They're like, DPF, David Patrick Farrell, we've deliberated. We believe that you're ready to go to the heart seat. To the heart seat, then so it's great. Go to the heart seat, then you sit in front of the 8 founders of the organisation, and it's a 90-minute probing. And if I thought the questions were asked by my peers that were piercing, these brothers were piercing questions, and
like, is it very personal? Is that what you mean by piercing?
Like everything,
Okay.
everything. There was no. They were asking me my ex-girlfriends, how did that go? How did that break up? How did you feel? How did you operate after that? How did you navigate? Could you show up better? Were you in integrity? Were you out of integrity? Where were you out of integrity physically in your life? Is there anything in your life that would be a stipulation to that would come to light that may shine a dark light on you or the organisation? Whatever it be, and everything's, your soul is bared.
Yeah.
But they're not. And what I've seen, because I'm on this organisation 4 years, with them 4 years, and I might have coffee with the founder because we're busy, we're working. I might have a share meal throughout the whole experience of 4 or 5 days, whatever country I'm in. Yeah. But to be able to sit for 90 minutes and they're focusing on me, they literally were focusing on me as a human being, how I can be a better human being, how I can be a better man. And then it came to how can I be a better facilitator. And like, how would you be a danger? So one of the questions was, how would you be a danger on the weekend? You know, what would make you a danger? Or what would it knock you out of integrity? And I had to answer that question, you know. And are you a dangerous man? Have you been a dangerous man? What would be dangerous for people around you in a situation? Yeah. And I'll answer the question if you want. For me, what would dysregulate me and make me a dangerous man would be, and I haven't had this experience yet, but I've had stuff close to it, is working with men who are sexually abused someone. That's a real big trigger point for me. It's like, and I've processed women who have had experience of being sexually abused. I've processed men who have been sexually abused. I have processed women that have their kids have been sexually abused by their partner. And it's really, thank God's given me strength, perseverance to hold my centre, to do the work I need to do, to hold it, to support them through their process, so they get the most out of the experience, so I can help them and assist them and release some pressure. And then once they're regulated, I have to go off then with other facilitators and do my own work around that work. So the work is like, I'll help someone guide them, but after that I'm dysregulated because I don't want to be hearing about, it's like, it's not an easy thing to be hearing when kids are being sexually abused. So I have to go off and do my own work because that's dysregulated and it makes me a danger, because if I'm not regulated, I can't be of service. Of course, I go off and do my own work. And that's the honesty. Like, when you're asked that question, you're like, oh, I'm not a danger. I give all airy-fairy answers, but the real reality is we're human beings. When I'm hearing about kids being sexually abused or any trauma, it's impacting me. I'm a human being. I'm not just a facilitator. I'm empathic. So I have to answer that question. That's one question. And that's the level of depth they're going to understand that to be of service, you have to know where your blind spots are. Where would you be out of integrity? And where would you ask for support when needed? Because I'm not the be-it-all, know-it-all, figurehead guru that has it all together. There's stuff that's going to affect me and you and life. And in containers like that, when you hear certain things, it can be dysregulating. And how are you going to actually become regulated to come back?
How would you regulate yourself in that situation?
I'll ask for brothers that are other core facilitators in that event to come off me separately and to process me and what will come up for me. And what comes up for me every time is rage. Okay. And rage will come up because it's like,
you have to expel that energy out of your body.
Expel that energy, because I don't want to be, how can I hold that rage and then bring someone to a lover piece of tapping into their soft.
But they would feel your energy as well.
They would feel it.
Yeah.
And I would never process someone if I wasn't regulated because it's dangerous.
So you probably couldn't either.
I couldn't. I've seen people do it and no names, but it's not beneficial, and it's like it's out of integrity. Yeah. And I'm all about integrity. I want to be really regulated, And I wouldn't go back to doing the thing unless I'd had been processed and done my own individual work.
And when you say knocked out of integrity, like integrity is the core fundamental value that you need to have, because I feel like that's like the spine of your body. Your integrity is the spine. It holds everything together. If you're not integral, all the other values kind of fall to the wayside. But what do you mean by being knocked out of integrity?
Like, I wouldn't give relationship advice to anyone. I'm not in a relationship. So how would I tell you what it's like to be with a partner? Now, I've been with partners and I have that experience, but to be a modern man in a relationship at this current time, I'm not going to be in integrity. I'd be out of integrity telling you, well, you need to talk like this to your partner. You know, I've read the books, I've done the thing, I practice it when I'm in conscious communion with a partner. But I wouldn't be telling a man how to be a better father.
I get you.
You know?
Because you have to walk to talk.
Yeah, exactly. And people
Yeah.
can be out of integrity and talk a big game and talk certain things, and it's like, how are you telling this man to be a better father when you've no kids? It's like, you know, and everyone is saying 24 hours a day. Yeah, but this man is a newborn in the house, and you getting up at 6 a.m. because you're on a single man is not the same as him getting up for a night feed at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and you're saying, just get up at 6. That's not reality. You know? And people think it's like a cut and dry, copy and paste for everybody. It's like, no, you have to bespoke for men's lives.
Yeah. You touched on rage there and aggression. I do believe aggression, all men experience some level of aggression. I actually think it's a useful energy. It's not something that should be, you know, condemned or thrown off to the side, because we are naturally aggressive. We get out there and we go after things. We need that sense of direction. We need a to-do list and tick things off. We need that drive, that power. How do you view aggression? Because obviously, you know, you're at the moment doing jiu-jitsu, which is probably a nice release of if you have any aggression in your body. But where do you see the utility of aggression?
Yeah.
For men?
And I don't like the terminology. People talk about healthy and unhealthy emotions, healthy and unhealthy things. It's all healthy. Anger is so healthy. It's a driving force for me. To do the work I do, I need a lot of aggression. A lot of impact, violent impact. You know, like to show up, to do the thing. It's aggression, it's violence, but in a caring, nurturing way. And jiu-jitsu is very humbling.
It's powerful emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really powerful. If you can use that in a good way, and you know the parameters of it, and express in a healthy way, with like discuss palm recalibration, or screaming under the water, hitting a pillow, jiu-jitsu, all the things.
You're ever in the sea and just let out a massive roar?
Yeah.
I love doing that.
Yeah.
Just expression.
Do it under the water so you don't hurt your voice.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, even better. But even like you touched on jiu-jitsu or boxing or weights does it, but maybe not to the same extent. But we need this kind of, it's a release, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or channel it into something. What are you going after in life? Are you aggressively driving forward in the pursuit of that goal? And that's why goals are so important in life, because they give you that kind of energy. It lights you up inside.
100%.
Put the fire under your fucking arse. You're like, I need to get after this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if that rage isn't used in a good way, and we talk about this with Brian, if you don't feel the heat from a village, you burn it down to feel the heat. So what does that look like? Rage is driving force. You can use that rage to heat the village or burn it down. Let's go to an office setting. If you're not using, say, jiu-jitsu or primal recalls or channeling your aggression, it comes out as passive aggressiveness, short-tempered, judgment, smarmy.
It's real bitchy energy.
It's like gossiping. It's like, that's aggression, that's violence. But why don't you just go to jiu-jitsu for an hour and a half, get humble, go to work, like, yeah, I don't really care what John's doing over there. I'm just doing my thing. You know, it's like, that's where it
exactly
is.
how life should be as well.
Yeah.
Just stick in your own lane.
Do
you
your
know
thing.
what I mean? Don't be fucking getting caught up in other people's. Yeah, bitchy. That's the best way to describe it. But I do believe, like you touched on there, that aggression, it's healthy. Any other fuels that kind of fuel your own flame in life, like aggression being one, or that you said channeling your anger? Anything else that you use in life to drive you forward?
Yeah, the emotional regulation for me is beautiful. I've done so much work in the emotional realm that, you know, I don't know if I shared this in this podcast or Brian's podcast. I saw a guy crossing the road there about a month ago.
Yeah.
I think I might have told you, and he was crossing the road and he had earphones in. It was like about 8 o'clock. I was coming back from the gym, and next of all, he starts doing a twirl and dancing across the road. I'm looking at this guy, and I just start welling up and I start crying tears of joy for this man's experience. And it's like, wow, I'm so grateful that I can feel this pure joy for a man I'll never talk to, never meet.
Yeah.
And that's the emotional capability, emotional capacity, you know, to feel joy for that level for someone else. It's like, wow, like that's beautiful to be able to tap into.
Is that because you're so empathetic?
I think I've done a lot of work in the emotional realm, you know, but I have emotional sovereignty also. I'm not a bawling mess of crime, but if it comes, it comes, because there's no use to me or the use to the world or the work I do to be crying my life out, you know, all the time. Crying is healthy, and story is healthy, but sometimes the story is just like repetitive. There's a time and place for story, and what can happen in this work when men open up is like the story goes on forever. It's like, great, we've done the story. Now do you want to write the next chapter?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But emotional well-being, the emotional realm is beautiful. That's a driving force for me, is to be able to feel so deeply. And Rumi talks about that in one of his poems, like when emotions come to the door, welcome each one just like a guest. Every one of them, sadness, grief, joy, they're all guests because they're all coming. Treat them like you treat any other. If you're treating anger like you treat sadness, treat it the same way you treat joy. Embrace it, embody it, engulf it, encapsulate it, be swallowed by it, and then let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. And how do you view emotions then?
How do I view them?
Yeah, because like we know, a lot of men suppress their emotions. They don't let them bubble up, or it's so detrimental to push something down. It almost, because you're pushing with such force, it's going to explode at some stage and just be pure chaos. But how do you view like how emotions come through your own body, in a sense, like, how am I even trying to phrase this question? How do you let them process? That's probably a better way of saying it.
The work I've done, I naturally let them process.
Okay.
A lot of my friends have passed away through drink, drugs, suicide, drug overdose, etc., etc. A lot of friends of mine have committed suicide, and I grieved them. I grieved them when they passed. My recent friend David passed away last April, and I thought that I became like cold. I did cry, and I cried, and I grieved, and then I was like, okay, I processed that pretty quickly. I was like, did I be like callous to this? Is this like a callous to death? Because it's just happened so many numerous times, and I was a bit worried. But then like a couple of months later, I'm in the car, a song came on at mind when I was crying. And now if he comes to mind and I need to cry, I'll cry. I'm not trying to compartmentalise or suppress. What's alive at the time is what's alive in the time. And when I'm in spaces with a group of men, be it 10, be it 20, be it 100 men, you are going to get David Patrick Farrell on that day. You're going to get what's alive for him that day. I'm not showing up telling you the wires and life is great, everything's... I'm just going through a breakup. Financially, I'm struggling. Physically, I'm not doing too well. Didn't sleep too well last night. You're going to get the real authentic self, because there's no point in me and anyone being a smile and everything's great.
Yeah.
That's getting you nowhere, because that's all just false too.
Yeah.
Like, give me your sadness, give me your joy, give me your all of
Struggles, problems, yeah.
all of it, all the time. And then how can we look at that? How can we work with that? And sadness is beautiful. Like, for me, being a poet, I stayed in a melancholic state for a while, and it's so beautiful being in that melancholic state until it's not. And then you're just seeing the world through the lens of melancholy, and you're seeing the sadness, because poetry is a beautiful burden to have, thanks to the grace of God. And some of the poems are very joyful, but it can be a melancholic state to be in. And I've talked to a lot of artists about this. I'm not saying I'm an artist, but I do write poetry. And like, yeah, they stay in that melancholic state, but it can be detrimental to be tapped into that field, to just be sad all the time and seeing the bitterness in it,
How did the poems come to you? Because I actually was in awe. After you'd done Brian's podcast, you recited a poem. I'm pretty sure you were going for the best part of a minute and a half, nearly 2 minutes reciting as well. It was very impressive. But how does the poetry come to you? Is that a natural like download or flow, or how does it just pass through you?
But God. It comes fully formed. I don't edit my poems. They all come in one go. And then...
Do you have to tap into something or be in a certain space for it to allow it to come to you?
When I'm in a more restful space, when I'm in a more spacious state, they come. When I'm in the go masculine, there's no real space for creativity. It's just like logistics, operations, next part. And so I haven't had a poem. I had a poem in India because I had loads of space there. It came down fully formed, which is beautiful. But I know that poems don't come unless I release the poem that comes. So for me, a poem will come, I'll write it out, I put it on the internet and it's gone, and then there's space for another poem. But that's the way my poems work for me, poetry works. And if I don't release that poem, nothing else will come true until I release it. So
you've got to let it go first.
So I let it go. Sometimes I hold it because I'm just like, I don't want to open up the channel at the moment. I'm happy to be where I am and do the work I need to do, because it's a beautiful space to be in, the feminine energy. But sometimes the feminine energy is not serving me when I need to do the thing. And I got that reiteration reminder. I was in California, and I said to the brothers, I'm sharpening all the time. I'm doing the men's work. I'm in the masculine because I'm all around the world. I said, for this event, we had a team container. There was 4 facilitators and then 100 men. And I said, I want to tap into the feminine. So we tapped into the feminine. I said, I'm going to be more soft, bring in the feminine energy. And it lasted about 6 hours. And it was like, this is not a natural state for me to be in. I love it. But I was bringing the brother through a process, and I brought the lover online. It was a beautiful process. But when I needed to shift gear to my warrior, I'd spent so much in my lover, in my feminine, that I couldn't change gear. And thank God, and this is the work we do, I had a brother that was with me, an incredible facilitator, and I asked him, I threw the ball, and he stepped in. He did that piece. But I was like, okay, to work in that realm, I haven't really done the work in that realm. I'm usually the warrior, the king, the magician, but I stepped into the feminine role, the more lover role. And not to say that it's a feminine all the time, because we all have duality, the polarity, the both, the men, masculine, feminine. I have feminine energy, you feminine energy. But I couldn't step into the masculine role. I was like, okay, that's interesting because there's time and place for each framework.
For each, yeah. That's interesting. And obviously, like you mentioned there, is the lover more associated with the feminine? It definitely is, isn't it?
It can be sadness, but it's like these terminologies, like you talk about. Is it John Box? All diagrams are wrong, but some are helpful. So these frameworks coming into this work are beneficial to talk to you about. If your brothers are new to this work, we'll talk about the 4 archetypes.
Yeah.
We'll talk about duality, polarity, the masculine, the feminine, the yin, the yang, the 4 archetypes. But when you go into the work, it's all one. It's like, it's all operating systems, you know? So it's like, at the time you need something like, okay, I'm in my feminine energy, I'm in my masculine energy, I'm in the warrior, I'm in the king. But when it becomes ingrained, it's like, I'll consciously breathe without doing breath work. I'll be looking at these things without thinking, I'm in the warrior. It just becomes a flowy thing. I was like, okay, this needs to be done. And then it's softening. This needs to happen. Like today, I was like, before I came this, I was on a Shakti mat for an hour, by an hour beats, because I knew I had a busy morning this morning, and I knew I had to regulate myself, drop into the feminine, and rest before I come back in, and just become really in tune to what's needed. So I do use these frameworks, but they're more embodied now.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Fascinating work, man. Very fascinating. Tell me, you have a few travels coming up, and there's something you mentioned earlier on. You're going to Germany for a few days.
Yeah.
And you touched on vision. And I think vision is very, very important. A man must have a vision for his own life. And is it King Solomon says there's something that I absolutely love, but without a vision, the people perish. That we have to have a vision that gives us a sense of direction of where we're going in life. But did you touch on that you're going to is it 4 days and you're trying to cultivate a vision? Is that what you mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So vision for me is really interesting, and come back to the biblical, and it's like Corinthians 5:7, we walk by faith, not by sight. So I'm on a mission and the faith's there, and I don't know where it's going to go, but these things...
Do you want me asking, what leads your faith? What's like, what is pulling you? Is it the faith that pulls you?
Trust, complete trust.
Complete trust.
Complete trust.
And are you following your heart over your head in this situation, or what's that look like?
Pure guidance. I'll hear, I'll see. It could be clairvoyant, it could be audio voyant, so I'll hear a guidance, or I'll see a guidance, or a vision will come, and I'll know what I need to do.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's available for everybody. There's nothing unique about me. It's just that I took a bit longer to text back my friend God, and I spent more time on the phone with him. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And it's available for everybody if you just keep talking and building that relationship. I fully believe it, and as Carl Jung said, he doesn't know God, or doesn't believe in God, he knows him.
Yeah.
This thing you're talking about in Germany is called the Hamblecha. It's the Vision Quest by the Lakota, and the indigenous Native American tribe, the First Nations. And it's called a Hamblecha, which is the Lakota word for a vision quest. And you pray for a vision. And you go into the mountains. You spend 4 days, no food, no water. And you have prayer toys around you that are tobacco. And then you have individual colours that represent different directions or different animals, depending on what the chief says, what the ceremony will be about. And you have small parameter around you. You'll sit there on your own, no one around you. As I said, no food, no water, no shelter, no blankets. And 4 days you'll be there and you'll pray for a vision to Wakantanka. Wakantanka is the Native American word for Great Spirit. I'm going over to, my brother is going, it's called Going Up on the Hill. So every year, this time of year in May, these tribes, they call it Going Up on the Hill. My brother, who is deep in this path, it's called the Red Road, which is the Native American path, the Red Road, roadman, like not roadmen in London, but roadmen. And they go up on the hill, they pray. And my brother, Heis, he asked me to come over, meet his elders, meet the chief, and be involved with the community, and to be at the bottom of the hill. I'm praying for him when he's up there. This man's an amazing human being. He's an incredible traditional Native American flute player. He's Dutch, but he's done all the things Native American, the sun dancing, the vision quest, the Uwepi ceremonies, all traditional things. And he asked me to go over and pray. So what does that look like? I'll go over, he'll be on the hill, and it's 10 days. In the morning, we have 20 sweat lodges, one in the morning, one in the evening, very intense ceremonies. We'll pray, we'll cook food, we'll pray for the men around the hill, and then they'll come down to reintegrate, and that's their initiation. And in this lifetime, I will potentially be going up on the hill. I'm in no rush for this path. That's another piece. For the vision for me is like, I have patience. And when I talk about this stuff, and I talk to brothers about plant medicine, or I talk to brothers about somatic work, or process work, or men's work, or the Red Road, it's like, it's a really slow process. It's like, it's not like I'm just going to go and do this thing. I'm not going to walk into jiu-jitsu and have a black belt. It takes time, energy, it takes really showing up in spaces. Like, I'm not leading men's work in Ireland and around the world because I just rocked into it. So, as I said, I started out building fires, making cups of coffee, apprenticeship, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then stepping in. And that's the pieces with the Red Road and pieces with medicine, pieces with bringing brothers to Peru, going and do these things. It's like, it's really slow, really patient, a lot of faith, a lot of listening, and then the vision comes.
So you're expecting to see a vision now when you go over to Germany?
My brother on the hill is praying for a vision. I might get a vision, but I'm not going to be on the hill. It's not my time.
Okay,
my time is support.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to support. My brother asked me, and I honour this brother from asking, because it's a big deal to be asking, because an energy transfer can happen where he's up there, and if he's struggling, I'm connected to him, I will feel that his struggle too. And he obviously thinks that I'm a strong enough being to hold that energy to really support him.
What gives you that strength? What gives anyone that strength?
Creator and knowing and purpose. It's like, you know what it's like when you're here to do something, you're gonna struggle. There's gonna be difficulties. Like, it's not easy sitting in 50 plus plant medicine ceremonies, but I know it's a calling, I know it's devotion, I know I'm sharpening, I know I'm softening. It's not easy to jump on 52 flights around the world and not have a routine and structure, and then finances up and down, and not easy, but it's mission, it's purpose, it's devotion.
Yeah.
It's like, I know.
Which is true strength.
It's just in it. You're just in it, and it's like, I have full faith this is going to work out the way it's supposed to go. Men are going to get this work, whatever banner it's under. They're going to hear, they're going to listen, they're going to witness, they're going to be part of it. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. And tell me about the vision for the future here in Ireland with Men Rising Together.
Yeah, MRT is leading the charge, which is epic. And I just see this happening. Last year we did the 4 highest peaks in Ireland. Lugnaquilla, Carrantoola, Sleep Donner, Mulray. This year we're doing the 3 peaks in the UK. We did Ben Nevis 2 weeks ago. We did Snowdon 2 weeks ago. Ben Nevis in 4 weeks, and then Scaffold Pike. Next year is going to be Kilimanjaro. Year after that, potentially Everest Base Camp. But rewind. What does it look like? Men's work in Ireland is driving, purpose, vision. So DPF, devotion, purpose, faith, or discipline, prayer, and focus.
Nice.
So many different ways, and that's what it's about. It's getting these men in these spaces, getting them creating circles. We're doing a leadership program, showing brothers the skills, techniques to open a circle, to open the directions, to close a circle, and giving the men the skills and tools that they can bring 4 men into the forest, have a fire, call in the directions, know the frameworks, offer them the probes, how to do dyads, triads, simple questioning, and giving them the skills and tools to develop themselves. If it's MRT, fantastic. If it's whatever, a brotherhood without banners, even better. I would love this to be like just in the States, where a men's circle is happening every week in every town. That's like the reality in the US. They're 30 years deep in this. I get to work with brothers that are 3 decades doing this work, part of the organisation in the States, and it's so relevant and so prevalent, and it's ongoing, and it's
so beneficial.
So beneficial.
So beneficial.
Yeah.
Because you're not down the pub anymore, just congregating, and you're not expressing yourself. You're not getting your own worries or struggles off your chest. What is the big thing that men actually take away from the men circles and men groups, and them groups in particular?
Yeah, it's very, very individualistic, but it's knowing that maybe they're out of alignment, out of integrity, or lacking purpose and vision. And it's like, whoa, I'm out of integrity here because I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, I haven't had a vision. I kind of just fell into this career for comfortability, and wow, I actually have zero purpose. And some men get it at 80. We had an 80-year-old at one of our events, and he's been on purpose the last X amount of years. But some brothers come at 60, and they're like, where have I been the last 4 decades? And it's like, the light goes back on their eyes, and then the work begins. The work's not done on the event.
No.
The work's done outside the container. We're just giving you an opening to shine the light of, like, maybe you're not where you want to be.
And all the adjustments and integrations come afterwards. Tell me, just to, we're getting close to the end of the conversation. Man, I fucking love this as well. You've touched on it before, about reincarnation. You don't plan on coming back? Yeah,
this is my last time.
This is your last time here?
Yeah.
Could you explain to people, because you explained it beautifully last time I was here with you, when you said it. So reincarnation, you believe, is a real thing. People do have cycles. Is it that they come back around? And what is it that we're meant to learn certain lessons that we don't get reincarnated? Is that how it's meant to be?
I fully believe it's purpose. And it's like, I touched on this. I was offered a contract to kill someone, and I could have went down that road. But as I know, I've done that. I believe in a previous life I would have been a murderer or been in a war, and now I got the opportunity to come into this life and happen to be involved in X, Y, and Z, and I had the opportunity to do this or not do this. Catalyst, changing point. I had the opportunity to continue being a drug addict, an alcoholic in his lifetime, or changing it. So you can look at it as generational trauma, but even go further than generational trauma with that terminology and look at it as a karmic, dharmic cycle of like previous lives and reincarnations. So I have the opportunity to do the work along the way, and in each time I probably progressed a little bit in each life, and at this time I was like, this is the work. Do you want to go all in? Do you want to really make the change? Do you want to really reincarnate? Do you want to really make an impact? I'm here to make a big splash. I'm here to do the work, to deliver it in a good way, to become embodied and educated, to expand, to evolve it, to leave a legacy behind where this work continues when I'm long gone. And it's like planting the oaks will never sit underneath.
Yeah.
And I always knew it came to me, I was like, this is your last time here. And then it was reconfirmed to me by talking to God, and then it was reconfirmed to me in India. I would go into a Vedic astrologer, and he's like, did the chart, and he's like, you'll be an incredible criminal or an incredible hitman or killer, or you be an incredible public speaker or beneficial to the collective. And I never met this guy, and I just saw the thing on the signpost, took a picture of it, came to the hotel, 2.5 hour reading, and he doesn't know anything about me, and he broke it down, and that just reconfirmed it. But I already knew, and I was like, I believe I've been here before, transcended, and knew I had to come back down to do the work and help raise the vibration. As cliche, as woo as that sounds, and that doesn't have to be feathers and sage and all the things. It can be just helping and supporting community, society, and the collective. And this is my last time to do it, so I'm going to giving it my all.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing.
And then you don't come back, but where do you go then?
Yeah. Where do I go? It becomes maybe quote unquote an enlightened being or transcended or oneness. And I believe it's oneness.
Oneness.
And oneness for me I've experienced on Bufo, but in India I experienced oneness in Vipassana. 10 days silent meditation. You know what Vipassana is?
No.
So Vipassana is a 10-day silent meditation. It's the Dharma teachings by the Buddha. 2,500 year practice that got lost. And so what you do is you sit for 10 hours a day in meditation. You're not allowed to move. No eye contact, no talking, no books, no stimulants, no prayer, no caffeine, nothing. And you meditate for 10 hours a day for 10 days straight. And that's called the Vipassana. It's all in silence.
Yeah.
And I went and did this, and my meditation practice before that being like 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here. Then I went in and I went straight to the deep end, and it's like your first sitting is 2 hours long, and you're not allowed to move. You're not allowed to scratch your head. You're still. I'm a big guy, not much flexibility, mobility. I'm working on it, and God's going to guide me. 3 days in, my body's aching, like I'm in pain. And I woke up the third day and I thought I had brain damage, because what happens is, it's a deep neurological surgical operation that happens in your brain. Your brain stops, it rewires, it reframes, it restructures, because you're in silence for 3 days and your brain has an opportunity to slow down. It's not on a phone, it's not on a book, it's not listening to music, it has no eye contact, it's being basic food, and you're meditating for 30 hours. So I woke up and I couldn't walk properly, my balance was off, my vision was off, my brain was like literally like this. I was like, what's going on? An opportunity to speak to the mentor and the teacher and the guide. You're like, this is what's happening. I was like, yep. Trust the process. Day four, the practice that was being taught, the Vipassana meditation, clicked. And I was like, whoa. And I would meditate for 10 hours a day and stand up after that and not feel like my body was aching. I was like, whoa. And then the fifth day I woke up and I was paranoid that I'm in a prison, because like paranoia creeps in because you're in the middle of nowhere. The only white person, the only European person, not speaking to anyone. And then I went to bed that night with the paranoia, and I went during the day and I cried and cried and cried, tears of joy for my life. Day 6 I woke up, the practice clicked. Day 7, practice clicked. I was in this meditation space, because you're meditating for 10 hours a day, but when you leave the meditation temple, you're still in meditation. You're still in meditation even though you're walking. It's like an active meditation. You're constantly in this energy of meditation. Day 7, day 8 I experienced 60 seconds of enlightenment. I was connected to everything all at once. My body dissolution, mind dissolution, no mind, no matter, no me.
What were you? Just energy?
I was everything. I was connected to oneness. I experienced it on Bufo with a psychedelic medicine, but the 5-MeO, which is really potent and strong. But to experience that meditation where you're actually just everything all at once and no separation, there's no me, there's no you, there's no meditation. You're literally just part of everything. And to experience that, I was like, that's actually attainable and achievable through meditation. Like, whoa.
But like, so this is like mind blown. But like, is it just like that? Like, what is it? You just are.
You're just everything.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Which is aware? Is there? You can even put a title on, or is it awareness? Just you're everything.
You're everything. everything.
You said
all at once.
mind body dissolution.
Yeah.
So there's nothing.
No body, no mind, nothing. You're like just everything. The body didn't exist 60 seconds. The mind didn't exist 60 seconds.
And do you have the cognition to register this, or just that's gone as well?
It came back, and what the practice is about is aversion and craving. So because you experience with that, your automatic response is to crave that feeling again. But we'd been already doing 8 days of meditation where we were practicing not aversion the pain in the body and not craving the goodness, whatever it may be, thought process. So that came and went in 6 seconds. Like, well, that was interesting. And then I continued on my practice. I'm like, whoa, blew my mind to know that's available with meditation, with the surroundings, with silence, with the container and the confinement of it. It obviously adds to being able to get to that space, but it blew my mind. I'm like, wow. And complete oneness. And then if you read the book I Am That by the Maharaji, and he was asked by a Westerner, what would happen if I chopped off your head? And the Maharaji was like, nothing. This form of communication we speak is gone, but I'm still there. So there's no being alive, being dead, being in meditation, but it's all the same. Everything is all the same. Like, I'm you, you're me, I'm you, and you're me. It's all like happening. Yeah. We're like, we're everything. And it's going to sound mad, but it's given me a deep sense of hilarity of all of it. Because we're here on a podcast talking, and this will end, and it's impermanent. This life will end. This desk won't be here. I'm going to live. I'm going to die. I'm actually just reincarnated now as David Patrick Farrell on a podcast talking about men's work, and it's hilarious. And we take it very serious about it, and we take all the prayers stuff really serious. But when that meditation and that practice is like, I'm just laughing at it all because it doesn't really matter, and I can get really serious, and it's helpful to have the seriousness and help people along the way. Beautiful, but really, it's hilarious. All this life experience is really funny. Yeah. Like, it's insane.
It is. It's great.
It's brilliant.
It is, man. Absolutely brilliant. And was there any other learnings or teachings from India?
Yeah.
That's such a big one anyway.
Yeah, it was in the Ganges every day, and the power of the Ganges every day, you can actually feel tangible energy swimming in the Ganges every day. Like real life force energy. Yeah. Like it's gushing boy. It's taking a few lives. People, it's dangerous because it sweep you under really quickly. Okay. But it's like the power. And there was this cave called the Vishishi Cave. I think my friend brought me Sean. He was on the podcast last week at Dar Stewart, and it was actually a sighting where Jesus was. So Jesus goes missing the ball from 13 to 30, and he was saying to be with training with the Babas and the Sadhus in India, in Ethiopia, and then Egypt. So it's like a good chunk of Jesus' life is not mentioned. So it's like, oh yeah, where was he that time? He went over and he got the Eastern philosophies, he got the insights, and that's my understanding. And yeah, so like I was set in a cave that Jesus was quote unquote being in, did a meditation. India, it's literally not just the Ganges, but India in its sense itself is a tangible, energetic, spiritual feeling all the time. You're sitting there drinking a chai masala or coffee in a restaurant, and it's like a meditative state. There's just something in that space. You don't have to be in a sound bath, you don't have to be in a meditation, you don't have to be in the Ganges, you can just be, and it's like, there's something happening with my energetic field, my body in this place. It's like different. It's like vibrating different. I'm operating different. My body, my mind, everything is different. It's a place that everyone needs to go to experience that medicine.
David Patrick Farrell. Man, it's been an absolute pleasure. You're a wealth of knowledge, and just the stories are never ending. If people are looking to find you, where should they go?
Yeah, brother, and thank you very much for having me on this, James.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Genuinely looking forward to brothership and the community growing between us. To find me, get me on Instagram. David Patrick Farrell is my individual page, but I also have links for Calendly. We can work together, 6-month containers, do the work. Let's link in for a call, even a cup of coffee. And then Men Rise Together is the men's work page in Ireland. Get us on that. We have loads of events coming up. We have sweat lodges. We have one-day events. We have expansive experiences. And then we have the hikes all across the UK. Get me on Instagram. Hit me a message. But if you're going to follow me, please send me a message, because I'd rather you send me a message rather just add me. Yeah. I've listened to the podcast. I enjoyed that. This is interesting. And let's get a dialogue going. Yeah. I really want to talk to you, like the brothers that.
You want to connect?
Our sisters, connect, man. Let's make it happen.
That's what it's all about. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. We will catch you on the next one.
Thank you.
Boom.